Hello, people. Finished the book, Marathon. And when I bought this, I should have paid a little bit better attention to the subtitle, The Story of Civilizations on a Collision Course, because the book, and I guess it's not really the author's fault, because, what do we have to go by on Marathon? We have Herodotus. That's about it. So whatever he wrote, whatever kind of archaeological evidence they can find, that's it. But anyways, the book goes for an awfully long time without even mentioning Marathon. The book was published in 1973. It's only 208 pages. Even though it's only 208 pages, it took me a little while to finish this. I don't have a lot of reading to do. Third paragraph, page 44. This is about the origin of one of my favorite words. Really thick pages. It is an eloquent comment on the public spirit of Athens that its citizens, in their thousands, regularly sacrificed earnings and leisure to sit on stone seats, often in exhausting heat, sometimes in wind and rain, listening to parliamentary debate and lawsuit. It seemed to them no more than sensible. Either they govern themselves or someone else would govern them. For those who failed to attend the assembly without good cause, they had a term, idiotes, which persists in Western usage as idiot. If you made a list of the top 10 words that come out of my mouth, I think idiot would probably be in there. 208 pages, and here my next note says page 90 and no marathon. Last paragraph, page 94. I buy these books at the used bookstore, and there's always like a bookmark in there. Not always, but I find some really bizarre things in the pages of these books. And I can't make out this human's writing. But these are they're kind of weird. I'm real hesitant to throw these away, so I keep them. Where are we at here? Page 90. No, page 94. Sorry. Some things in this book didn't seem quite right. They were almost right, but in my humble opinion, they didn't seem quite right. And I'm going to give you a little example of that here. Last paragraph. For the Greeks, Lydia was a land of luxury and a source of exotic mythology. Homer gave it as the domain of the Amazons, a race of female warriors who disdained to habitate with the male sex. Amazonian legend was powerful and long-lived. These creatures of fantasy were considered a severe test for the heroes of Greek myth. According to one belief, they dispensed with their right breasts, the better to exercise their sword arms. And I've read that weird little mythology thing several times. And they actually were supposed to have cut off their right breast. But they didn't do it to better exercise their sword arm. They did it so that they could draw a bow, which makes a hell of a lot more sense. I've never read anything about their sword arms. My next note is page 130, no marathon. Keep in mind, this is a 208-page book. on page 162, they have the Persian fleet sailing. And, you get an awful lot of stuff written about Thermopylae and the brave 300. Not too many people realize that there was 2,500 other Greeks there with them. But the brave 300 seems to monopolize things. I have wanted an account of Marathon for a long time. The Athenians were also outnumbered. According to this guy, not by much. It was like 4-1 that they were outnumbered. But they weren't hiding in a mountain pass that was extremely easy to defend. They came and confronted the Persians. The Persians were getting off their ships. They had their camp set up. And the two armies stood watching each other for a while before the Athenians said, you know what, fuck this. We're going to attack them. And it was full-on phalanx advancing. And the Persians didn't know quite what to make of it. The Persians depended on the bow to decimate their enemies. And at the last second, it wasn't a real deep phalanx. It was they had to spread out to cover the whole Persian host. And when the Athenians saw the Persians about to let loose thousands and thousands of arrows, they timed it just right. When the Persian archers fired, that's when the Athenians broke into a run and just broke into the Persian ranks. There was 3 phases to the battle. The initial clash, where the Persians were just completely outclassed. The Athenians wore armor, bronze. The Persians did not. They had wicker shields, and their weapons were even inferior. The Athenians had a nice long spear. The Persians used a short stabbing spear. And the Persians didn't even carry a sword. Many of them didn't. They had a dagger. And the Athenians all had a sword. So the first phase of the battle, the Athenians start kicking Persian ass, just slaughtering. The second phase, the Persians recover a little bit, and they begin to push back the Athenian middle. The Athenian wings, meanwhile, are pushing back the Persian wings, and then they envelop the Persians. Not quite an envelopment like Cannae, but a pretty good one, and there's a general slaughter. And then the third phase is the Persians running like hell, trying to get back to their ships. It's pictured as a rout, but the Athenians take a lot of casualties right on the beach, so it couldn't have been too bad of a rout. So a couple of the Athenian officers are killed on the beach, so the Persians recover a little bit, get back on their boats, and take off. One thing that I guess I didn't know too much about was on the way there to Marathon, the Persians stop and punish one Greek city after another, some of the islands. And that's it. That's it for my notes. It was a decent book. I'd love to see something more up to date, giving all the information we have on Marathon. And of course, that's where the name Marathon comes from, because of the guy that runs at the end. He runs back to Athens, and he says, Athens is saved, and then he dies. The marathon that we run. Thanks for watching.